Let's join Rebecca Mansour, who is the one of the creators of Conservatives for Palin. How are you, Rebecca?
Doing good. How are you doing, Dan?
I'm good. Where are you? What part of the country are you in?
I'm in Los Angeles.
Okay. I'm impressed with your website. It's very well written, even though I've been the target of it on numerous occasions. But you really, I don't know, are you the writer or?
I'm one of the editors.
One of the editors. Very well done. Yep. What made you start this website? How did you get the idea to get this thing going? And do you have any connections with the governor or any of her people?
No, I don't have any connections with the governor. We're completely grassroots. We're just a bunch of people who met up at hotair.com, which is a conservative weblog affiliated with Michelle Malkin. And we just met up there after, during the election and after the election, and we all, were in Palin threads and, arguing with people, and we decided, let's just organize. Let's start our own little website, and we'll discuss these issues.
Is Michelle Malkin involved with your website?
No. Okay. I'm just saying that we met up at Michelle Malkin's website,
Gotcha.
hotair.com.
Right. Okay.
We're from all over the country, all over the world, actually now, and we're just ordinary citizen bloggers. We call ourselves the Cincinnati blog. Well, we're just ordinary schmoes.
You must have some writing experience, professional writing experience, because you're pretty good at it.
Well, I'm a writer. I'm a screenwriter, and I'm also a freelance technical and business writer. So I've been involved in in publishing and all of that my whole life.
Have you ever had any of your screenplays made into a movie?
No, like most writers, we've never actually seen it on the big screen. That's the problem out here.
I was in Los Angeles about 5 years ago, and we were watching the news, and they had a reporter. It was a great story. He went around asking people in the street, "How's your screenplay coming?" And it was so funny because everybody had it. And they were, how'd you know? How'd you know? How did you know I was right? And he must have had 50 people. How did you know I was writing a screenplay? They were so excited, Isn't that a great story for a concept for a story? Well, now, is Ivy Fry associated with you guys in any way?
No.
No?
I've never met her.
Okay, well, she's kind of a big Sarah Palin fan up here, and I don't know. Sometimes I see things written in there and say, well, that sounds like Ivy Fry, but she's not involved, huh?
All those Sarah Palin people sound alike, right? All those Sarah Palin, supporters are we're all just Palin bots? Is that it?
Now, what's your thought on the Letterman deal?
I think it was a really gross and sick joke. I think he deserves to be fired or suspended for it. I think, it's such a low blow. It's so awful, and it's like a last straw thing. It's like, no more. That's just too sick.
What did you make? What did you make of Palin saying that she does not want to accept? This is paraphrasing. She did not want to accept the invitation to go on his show because she didn't think it'd be wise to bring her 14-year-old daughter around him.
I thought that was hilarious. I loved it. You want to know why? Because it's a dig back at him. And I think, and she said it, when it was quoted back to her, she actually had a really interesting smile on her face because she knew it was a dig back at him. If he can mock her and mock her kid like that, then she has every right to mock him back. And I thought, you go, girl. I loved it. And I thought her reply was hilarious. What she said, well, maybe I was just protecting him from Willow. I thought that was great.
Does the governor...
maybe Willow would kick him in the knee or something when she got on the show. She ought to, the kid should, give it right back to him. It was funny.
Does the governor share any of the blame and all the exposure that her kids are going through?
Excuse me, Dan, you're not really saying that. That is just so stupid. You can't be saying that.
So she deserves none of the blame.
She deserved it? She deserved it? She deserved having her kid having a joke about statutory rape about her 14-year-old kid.
No, that wasn't the question.
Just because she took her kid to a baseball game? Are you telling me that taking your kid to a baseball game warrants getting a sick joke like that told about you?
That's not the question. That's not the question. The question is, with all the exposure that her kids have received and the ridicule, does she in any way share any of the blame?
No. What do you think? Give me a break. No. She's just like any public figure. She's got her kid. She had her kid, up on the on stage with her like every politician does. Obama brought his daughters out with him. He appeared in public with them. Are you going to tell me that Sarah Palin is somehow different and that she's fair game to have her kids mocked?
That's not what that's not the question. Way? No, you keep putting words in my mouth. Now listen, you sounded like a cult member here. You need to take a breath and realize that Sarah Palin is just a human being.
Question.
She's not a deity. She's not a member of the Trinity.
I don't worship her.
Just flesh and blood like everybody else. She puts her pants on just like everybody else does. My question to you is, this Letterman thing, clearly the governor has played it to the max. And Willow's name has become commonplace as a result. Are you telling me that the governor in no way shares any of the responsibility for Willow now being thrust in the middle of this controversy by playing it up so strongly?
Excuse me. This is how it happened. Now, this is how the thing, expanded. She was asked about this by John Ziegler, and she didn't even know about the joke. She gave an honest reply that any parent would have given, and that's how this thing exploded, okay? Actually,
she issued a press release saying that Letterman was joking about raping her daughter. They don't make it sound like she had nothing to do with it. These press releases she issued were very inflammatory.
Dude, do you think that the National Organization for Women is taking its cues from Sarah Palin? Because they've slapped down Letterman, too. Do you think Bonnie Erbe, who's a huge critic of Sarah Palin, is going to be taking
Rebecca,
cues
you and I
are
arguing different points here. I'm not arguing whether Letterman's jokes were appropriate. I'm not arguing whether that he should be criticized. My question to you is, the governor has done her very best to propel this thing into the spotlight.
All she did was answer a question about it.
No, she did. She issued two press releases. One of them saying Letterman joking about the statutory rape of a 14-year-old. The other one talking about you heard the second one, and then this other comment about, well, I don't think that we should have Mr. Letterman around my 14-year-old daughter, because she had you cannot honestly believe that the governor has not tried her very best to keep this issue in the spotlight.
Oh, come on. Come on. I think that's just goofy. That is just absolutely goofy that you're even suggesting this. First off, she's not the one that founded a website called FireDavidLetterman.com. That was the grassroots. All she did was answer.
Oh, I'm not saying it hasn't worked. Look, obviously there are people who are surrounded. Let's go back to the Bristol Palin situation. Is it wise for the governor to allow Bristol to go on all these national talk shows and continue to be ridiculed and criticized the way that she is? Is that being a wise parent?
First off, you're obviously not reading the news, Dan, because Greta Van Susteren replied to that allegation, which was put in a letter to the editor of the News Miner, and Greta said that the governor had no knowledge of Bristol going on the show. They worked that out with Bristol herself, okay? And they were hoping that the governor wouldn't find out about it. How do you explain Todd Palin sitting there
next to Bristol on the Today Show?
Do they not know about that one either? I'm talking about the first one. The second one, Bristol decided to go out and make a statement about abstinence education or about teen pregnancy. She's an 18-year-old. She makes up her own mind. The governor, what is the governor supposed to do? Lock her up? I mean, come on. Do you have children? Are you able to control them? I mean, and the kid wanted to do something. The young woman wanted to do something, positive, because she's been a target for all of this media attention. She wanted to turn the situation around and make something positive of it by giving a positive message. Why is that wrong, Dan? Why is that wrong? You explain it to me.
Well, it appears to me that an 18-year-old, she's an 18-year-old, but she lives at home. And it appears to me that, this is my opinion now, don't bite my head off. I know you're a big fan of the governor's. Just calm down for a minute. It appears to me that the governor has used her son, both of them, her daughters, two of them, in every way she can for political purposes.
That's rich.
It's rich?
She's used her children. By what? For political purposes?
Yeah, by parading them out, always letting them out in front of the media, always talking about them, always propelling them into the spotlight.
She's a mother. So she just by being a mother, she is somehow, Nancy Pelosi had her grandkids up next to her when she was, sworn in as Speaker of the House. Was she using her grandkids, Dan? When Obama had his kids on stage with him and he talks about his getting a puppy for his kids at his first press conference and does all this date night junk, is that using his kids? When JFK was photographed with his children to make him look like the young, healthy family man, was that using his kids? You tell me that, Dan. Why is there a separate standard for Sarah Palin than for these other people?
We're talking